For a century, Uganda's resources, coffee, gold, minerals, flowed outward, enriching others. Today, June 10, 2025, that era ends. The government has declared no more exporting raw resources. Uganda is reclaiming its value for farmers, miners, and entrepreneurs. This is a promise. Their labor will now build a self-sufficient nation. The gate is closing. A new chapter of economic independence begins. Uganda's decision can only be understood in the context of its colonial past. The British built railways not to connect Ugandans, but to extract cotton, coffee, and tea for their own factories. Even after independence in 1962, the economic system of extraction remained. Uganda continued exporting raw commodities, its fortunes tied to global markets it couldn't control. The value gap between raw exports and finished goods meant lost income, jobs, and opportunities. This was colonialism's true legacy, economic dependency. Uganda's new policy is a direct challenge to this history, a bid to finally break the chains and build an economy that serves its people first. True independence means controlling not just politics, but the economy itself. The government's announcement was clear. As of 2025, Uganda bans the export of all key raw materials, coffee, cocoa, gold, iron ore, and more. The message is simple. Uganda's resources must be processed and valued at home. For too long, local factories sat idle, while raw goods were shipped abroad and re-imported as expensive products. This policy is a catalyst, forcing investment in local industry and infrastructure. The government knows the transition will be tough, but sees these challenges as necessary steps toward industrialization. The era of exporting potential is over. The era of building prosperity has begun. Uganda is betting on itself. Exporting raw materials is a trap that keeps nations poor. A Ugandan farmer sells coffee beans for a pittance. After processing and branding abroad, those beans fetch 100 times more. All the high-value work, processing, marketing, profits, happens elsewhere. Uganda is left with crumbs, denied the chance to build wealth or skilled jobs. This model breeds economic instability, as global price swings dictate local fortunes. It stifles the growth of a skilled workforce and keeps the economy locked in low-value activities. The true cost isn't just lost money, it's lost potential. By banning raw exports, Uganda aims to stop this bleeding and reclaim its future. The goal: keep value, jobs, and knowledge at home. It's about building a foundation for real, lasting development. Uganda's new policy is about more than stopping raw exports. It's about starting value addition. Now, coffee will be roasted and packaged in Uganda. Gold will be refined into bars locally. This shift is sparking new factories, jobs, and opportunities. Idle plants are coming to life, turning local harvests into finished goods. The ripple effect is huge: more skilled jobs, stronger support industries, and less reliance on imports. The government is investing in energy, training, and quality standards to support this transformation. The vision: Uganda as a proud producer of world-class goods, not just raw inputs. It's a generational project, moving from dependency to self-sufficiency. The path is tough, but the rewards a national pride and economic control. Uganda is building its own future, one finished product at a time. Uganda's move has shaken global supply chains and drawn mixed reactions. International partners and corporations used to cheap African resources are uneasy. Critics warn of protectionism and market disruption, but overlook how the old system failed Ugandans. Multinationals now face a choice: invest in Uganda or lose access to its resources. Some resist, lobbying for a return to the status quo. Uganda's government stands firm, arguing this is about fair development, not hostility. They highlight the hypocrisy of wealthy nations demanding free markets while protecting their own industries. The world is watching as Uganda asserts its right to shape its own destiny. The pushback is real, but so is Uganda's resolve. This is a test of sovereignty, and Uganda isn't backing down. Uganda's stand is part of a wider African movement for economic sovereignty. Across the continent, nations like Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali are demanding a greater share of their own wealth. The old narrative of Africa as a land of poverty is being rejected. Leaders now see that Africa isn't poor, it's been systematically impoverished. The ban on raw exports is a remedy for this injustice, echoed by neighbors like Tanzania and Kenya. Regional cooperation is growing, with countries sourcing materials from each other to build local industries. This is the start of a stronger, integrated African market. The shift is psychological as much as economic, from dependency to self-reliance. Uganda's policy is a beacon, inspiring others to imagine and build a different future. Africa is claiming its place in the world economy on its own terms. Critics call Uganda's policy protectionism, but this is about protecting the future, not shielding weakness. For decades, Uganda's resources left the country, leaving little behind. The new policy shields farmers from global price swings and entrepreneurs from corporate giants. Most importantly, it gives the next generation a chance to inherit a nation of factories, skilled jobs, and real opportunity. Value will now be added at home, not in distant cities. This is a hard path, demanding investment and resilience. But for the first time, Uganda is choosing its own economic destiny. This is the dawn of true economic liberation, moving beyond political independence to real control over the nation's future. Uganda is not closing itself off, but opening the door to equal engagement with the world. The final stage of decolonization is here: economic sovereignty. By closing the gate on raw exports, Uganda is opening a new future. The world will now meet Uganda as a producer, not just a supplier. The journey to self-mastery has begun. This is Insight Africa, where the continent's awakening becomes unstoppable.